Right now, switch your family to T-Mobile and get 4 lines for $25 a line with AutoPay and 5G access included on America's largest 5G network. So don't wait. Get unlimited and nationwide 5G access for the whole family for just $25 a line. Visit a T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com today.
Plus taxes and fees. Customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using over 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video at 480p. Unlimited while on our network. Qualifying credit and 4 plus lines required. Capable device required for 5G. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain features. See T-Mobile.com.
Welcome, readers. Today on Book Chat, we are continuing the 3 Book Bloggers, 1 Series read-along. We're finishing up the Night Huntress series with the 7th and final book, Up from the Grave. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by The Boyfriend Project, written by Farah Rashan. It's the Mocha Girls Read National Book Club's July Book of the Month. Visit their website and join in today. Smaya Brooks thought she would never be that girl, but a live tweet of a horrific date just revealed the painful truth. She's been catfished by a 3-timing jerk of a boyfriend. Suddenly, Samaya, along with 2 other girlfriends, London and Taylor, have gone viral online. Now the 3 new besties are making a pact to spend the next 6 months investing in themselves. No men, no dating, and no worrying about their relationship status. For once, Samaya is putting herself first, and that includes finally developing an app she's always dreamed of creating, which is the exact moment she meets the deliciously sexy, honey-eyed Daniel Collins at work. What are the chances? When it comes to love, there is no such thing as coincidence. But is Daniel really boyfriend material, or is he maybe just a little too good to be true? The Boyfriend Project is available now in paperback, ebook, and audiobook from your favorite bookseller. Learn more by visiting mogagirlsread.com. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and welcome to Book Chat here on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. Participate in this book discussion by joining the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. Talk about the series with us there, as well as other bookish topics. I hope to hear your thoughts on this book discussion. As always, you can find the 3 of us on Twitter and Instagram. The links for everything are below in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, please support this podcast by sharing it with some book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. That would really help me out, and I appreciate you for doing so. The uncut video version of this podcast is available now on Patreon. Join us there for exclusive videos, including this podcast after show. We get even more candid with what we have to say. So if you're interested in that at all, you'll need to come on over to Patreon and sign up. Before we get started, I have to issue a spoiler warning. This is a roundtable book discussion, so nothing is off limits. You've been warned. We have a super fun hour ahead of us, including drinks, so let's get started. And I also want to let you know we have a drinking game this hour. Yay, our very first drinking game. So if you are at home in a safe space, definitely grab your drink of choice or a gin and tonic, which is Kat's favorite drink, and join us for this drinking game. How does it work? Anytime you hear any of us say the name Tate, go ahead and take a sip or a shot. Up to you how drunk you want to get, but join us and have a great time with this discussion. Welcome back to another 3 Book Blogger, 1 Series read-along discussion. Today we are talking about the 7th book in the Night Huntress series, Up from the Grave. This is also the final book in series. Joining me, as always, are my 3 Bloggers, 1 Series read-along co-host, Casey and Nicola. Welcome, ladies.
Hey, everybody. Jazz hands.
Yeah. So we're going to break things up and do things a little different today. So before we jump into talking about the book, we have something really fun, a nice little surprise, or maybe not a surprise if you've been paying attention on social media. But we are going to be like Kat a little bit today. And we are bringing people. No, we're not killing people. Yeah, we're not doing that, thank God, because me and jail don't mix. We don't mix. But we are.
Learn how to green eye people. No, I just wish.
No,
I wish I could do that. But I will be drinking something out of a green bottle. So that's a clue for y'all that aren't seeing. Green bottle, and it's her favorite drink.
It keeps disappearing.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah. So we're going to be drinking gin today, her favorite alcohol. And I have Tanqueray, which is, I guess, one of the quintessential old school types. So this is my first time drinking gin. What do you guys have over there?
I have the Beef Eater London, which is dry gin, and I think it's delicious. I've been drinking this for years, so
There you go.
Seasoned gin drinker over there.
yes.
I am not a gin drinker, so I tried something that kind of sounded good based on descriptions. So, it's hard to describe how things taste, I think. This is called the Botanist, and it is a Scotch, apparently, the Isle of Islay dry gin. It's a little bitty bottle, so I didn't spend too much on it.
All right, nice. Yeah, because actually that brand is expensive. When I went to the store and I saw that brand, all the little bottles were gone. And I'm like, the big bottle, man, that, y'all crazy.
No. It's a cool bottle, though. It's like there's raised lettering all around it that has, like, I think ingredients or different names for juniper berries, I think is what it is.
Ooh.
So it's kind of a cool bottle. So if nothing else, I get a cool bottle out of it.
Well, I mean, okay, so like I said, this is my first time, and I literally, you guys, just took a sip of this right before we hit, record, because I didn't like the way it smelled. I think it's the juniper berries. I'm like, oh God, I'm scared. It's going to be gross, but thankfully it's not gross. It's not gross. I can stand it.
I had a bad experience with slow gin in college, which is something completely different than regular gin, but it made me not want to ever have any gin again. And I haven't. I'm not much of a hard liquor drinker anyway, so when I do, I usually drink vodka. But so this is a first for me too. So I don't love tonic water, so I don't like the bitterness of it. So, but I'm doing the traditional thing, right? So it's a shot of gin, it's Schweppes club soda, and a twist of lime.
Okay, me too. But I did a 2-to-1 ratio. So I needed enough for the whole time. So I put 2 ounces of gin and 4 ounces of Schweppes diet tonic water. And I did squeeze a little bit of fresh lime in there with the lime twist.
Yeah, I just did a half of that much. So I also bought some other flavored tonic water, so I might try that. I don't know if we'll take time during the podcast to step away and make another drink, but
we might.
I can put that back in the show notes or in the discussion when we have our live read along. We could talk about how it went with other variations, maybe.
So look, y'all, if y'all hear glasses, ice, and if we start getting a little extra this episode, you know why. We're all intoxicated.
Not like Kat, though. I mean, we can't drink like Kat. Just drinks straight from the bottle. Like in the first couple books, she was drinking gin and tonics, but at some point she just went, just give me the bottle.
Well, that's when she turned into a vampire and alcohol stopped doing anything for her. So she just drank it for the taste.
And I don't know why this does not taste that good. I'm just saying. Well, maybe you could get used to it. Like once you find your drink.
I think she just has to get used to it. Like she started drinking this when she was 16.
Yeah, I get the impression she's not buying my engine either. I don't know about you guys. I could be wrong. I didn't really say one way or the other, but when she was when in the early years, she didn't have a ton of disposable cash. Living out in the country
And there's cheaper stuff than gin.
Well, at one point in Up from the Grave, Denise showed up with ice cream and gin, and Kat just went straight for the gin. So
what a gross combo.
He is a vampire.
But can you imagine spoonful of ice cream and then sipping like a gin cocktail? Disgusting. All right, so we got our drinks down. Hopefully you guys can get something to drink with us so we'll sound even funnier to you because you'll be drinking. Cheers, guys. Let's have a sip.
Can we do an online toast? Everybody?
Oh, yes. Cheers.
Camera.
Cheers.
Cheers, ladies.
So it doesn't work with the background.
It doesn't work. If you're on Patreon, you can see our hands disappearing into the camera with our backgrounds.
Yeah, if you don't have the what do they call it? The artificial background up, it would probably work better.
Yeah.
But we do,
But-
so
Mhm.
because it's cooler
Yeah.
than our bedrooms and
Who's telling, girl?
Yeah,
Right?
you don't want to see my room.
I'd have to reorganize so much stuff just to make it look cool back there on these shelves. No, I'm not doing. No, that's just the most. We're not doing it.
Unorganized piles of books all behind me.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
do that. I've got enough. There's enough places in my house, but I probably would have to like hold the device up so to have it at the right angle, which wouldn't go for. And then I couldn't drink at the same time. So
Yeah, that's
You'd
a
see
no
the whole-
go.
You'd see the whole picture go like this while I was taking a drink.
Like, is she okay over there? Oh my gosh.
No, let's look at Cat and Bones instead. They're
I know,
prettier.
Yeah, right. They
Yes.
definitely are.
Yes.
Okay,
They're
so
very
let's talk about this book, guys. Like I said, this is the 7th book, and we're gonna go through and give you all the information you need to know on this book. So to start out, Casey, please run down the book stats for us.
All right. Like you said, this is Up from the Grave, the 7th book in the Night Huntress series, and the final book. It was published by Avon in January 2014. The mass market paper book has 372 pages, and the audiobook is 8 hours and 41 minutes, narrated by Tavia Gilbert.
All right. Nicola, how about the synopsis?
All right. It says, lately life has been unnaturally calm for vampires Cat Caulfield and her husband Bones. Does every one of them start out like that? I think they do. The last 3 have started out the same way.
Copy paste. We're on book 7. Copy paste.
They should have known better than to relax their guard because a shocking revelation sends them back into action to stop an all-out war. A rogue CIA agent, Asterisk, is involved in a horrifying secret activities that threaten to raise tensions between humans and the undead to dangerous heights. Now Cat and Bones are in a race against time to save their friends from a fate worse than death, because the more secrets they unravel, the deadlier the consequences. And if they fail, their lives and those of everyone they hold dear will be hovering on the edge of the grave.
Oh dear. Everyone? I don't know.
Everyone they hold dear.
Blurb could be applied to like 5 out of 6 of these books.
I think so. Also, CIA is never mentioned in the book, so I don't know where the blurb writer got that.
Yeah, because did what's his face come from the CIA? Because I know
actually
that
they said it was Homeland Security a couple times. I think.
Okay.
So maybe, is that under the CIA? I don't think it is.
It's separate.
So
whoops.
Yeah. So. Hey, Avon, get your act together.
Oh, I know.
Blurb writers, you need to do better.
Hey, copy paste. That's what they were like.
Casey,
What else?
She does great blurbs. So.
Yes, I do.
And she actually reads the book before she writes the blurb.
That's the best.
The book. Yes, I do. I do read the entire book. And sometimes I steal little lines from the book. So anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about Cat.
Okay, so what you guys think about this 7th and final book? Did it deliver for you? Did you love it?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think it delivered, but I'm kind of tired of it, I think. So
okay.
I think maybe 7 books is too many. I don't know.
It was supposed to be 9. I don't know if you remember back in like 2012, 2013, eons ago, when Janine Frost was still writing the series, she always said that it would be 9 books. And then she came out and said, no, I'm ending it with book 7 because this is where it wraps up and it's over and I don't want to drag it out. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I feel like it got pretty formulaic. So.
A little bit.
I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely. And on the second time around, because this is rereads for us, it definitely becomes apparent that's what is happening when you don't have that excitement level that you had the first time.
Well, how many times can somebody fake being dead to freak out Cat so that her reaction is natural? I mean, it happened twice in this book.
I mean, I hate Bones for doing that, but also I kind of understand where he came from after he explained it. And the first time I read it, however many long ago that was, like the first time I read it, I was like, oh, that's not Bones, that's Denise. Like I knew for a fact that it was Denise. But no, I was wrong. It wasn't Denise. It was actually Bones.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually kind of feel bad for Denise's character because she's totally just being used and abused. Like she's not even getting any face time on the page unless she's saving someone's ass and killing herself for them.
Mm-hmm. I have not read the side novels in this series. I feel like I would have liked this better if I had read Spade and Denise's story. But like you said, no.
I mean, I've read it. I adore it. They're cute and adorable, but it's the same trope that's been going on for the last 3 books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, because her book came out roughly around the same time as book 4 for Cat and Bones. So it's the same trope over and over again. It's Denise showing up and like, yes, I'm super special and I can die. So kill me off to save your ass. Yeah.
Spade will be mad and I'll come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like those shows where, like, for example, I will just say like Vampire Diaries or something. No one ever freaking stays dead. So it's
Supernatural.
Right. So it's like the feelings and the angst we're supposed to get from thinking that somebody is dying is lost at this point in time because it's like, okay, we know that's not what it is.
Especially, and maybe it's just because it's the second read. But do we really believe that Bones is going to die? No. We don't believe that.
She's not going to do it twice. Well, she did do it twice, but the character isn't going to actually die.
Right.
On a second time. You know what I mean? He died twice in this series.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, not again. This guy is like Teflon. He just never dies.
I mean, it was pretty convincing.
So is Cat, to be fair.
Yeah.
Cat always dies.
Yeah, it's pretty convincing in that, you know, she sees him like falling to pieces and she's holding his body, you know. So I mean, I think it was, I'm not sure it was totally believable that he came back from that, I guess. So what do you guys think about that?
I think it was a little extra. I'm like, it was very extra.
Yeah, it was extra.
Yeah.
I believe that he has the power because it was set up in book 3. And so we know that this is absolutely possible. And this is definitely something he would have gone and tested and practiced and done on his own.
And it's something he would keep a secret because that's his personality.
I did like that part when they were having the showdown about it afterwards, where he's like, "You told me that I have to take you as you are. Well, you have to take me as I am, and this is what I do." And I was like, "That's fair." And it's not so much about the personalities, I think, or I don't know. It's just that it was kind of repetitive.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of nice to see him come out of like death looking like death, and Cat's like, "Oh my god, what is that? Oh, it's Bones. Okay, oh shit,
Bones, but it's still kind of gross. Ooh,
right."
I almost spilled my drink.
Oh no,
but I didn't.
Alcohol abuse. Oh, good, you saved
I know.
But yeah, I don't know.
No, it was a great story.
Yeah.
But it was just so, and I guess this might be the second time reading it through, it was repetitive. It was every trope ever used in all the other books.
Yeah.
But see, I'm not sure it's so much just because it was a reread, because like I said in many podcasts, you know, of this series, I didn't exactly remember exactly what was going to happen in each book.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, I kind of knew, but I didn't really know the details. And then I still reacted. I mean, and another thing, I mean, maybe it's just because like I'm a more mature reader now. And when I first read this book, it was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
or no, was it 2014? Yeah, 2014. So that was 6 years ago. And I've read a lot of this type of book since then. So maybe it's because I read so much in this arena.
Yeah, I think the genre has gotten a little bit more complex. I think that maybe our standards have gotten a little higher for a standout read.
Yeah,
and there's nothing really wrong with this one. It's very fast. If you like the first 6, there's no reason you wouldn't like this one, other than it's very much like the first 6. So
it is. And
go ahead.
But I do think that is part of its likability, because you can rely on it and you know what you're going to get. If you know you like it, then you know you're going to like it.
Yep. It was a fast read. There was lots of action. I liked the reason why I mentioned Denise and Spade's story is because this is the first time I had a scene with a demon in it. So the bad guy in this one, and I wanted to look up and I forgot to, but I really thought that this guy Trove was a thinly disguised, almost a wink and a nod at Karl Rove.
Possible.
Who was?
I mean, Supernatural has made fun of Dick Cheney.
Yeah,
the demons. So
yeah, I don't know. I think by 2014 maybe it was passé, but that was my take on it. Like Cheney, I think would have been maybe even better, but maybe it's because Cheney's not very good looking. like a demon wouldn't choose to look like that. I don't know if Rove is either, but I don't know. That was where my brain went. That didn't occur to either one of you guys?
It didn't, but now that you say it, maybe.
Yeah, now that you say it, maybe. But I try not to think about any of them. Yeah. Karl Rove, Dick Cheney, Bush. Yeah. Anybody new in the last 4 years?
Anybody new? Wink, wink.
Anybody new?
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that.
Possible. I
don't remember anything, specific about Karl Rove that would have been like, oh yeah, that's definitely him, other than the play on his name.
Okay, now I forgot the character's name because I finished this book like a week ago. What was the guy's name that was Don's arch nemesis? What was his name again?
Madigan,
thank you. I did one thing about him that I kind of did not like in this book was I really kind of, even though he is the worst.com, let's not get it twisted. He's bad. He's shitty kind of person. But I did not like how, like, after they turned him and he was all childlike and stuff, I did not care for that. And I did not care for Bones beating his ass like that. I didn't care for that either. It's kind of hard to separate, like, when you know someone is disabled, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, right. It's, I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to react that way.
Yeah.
But I didn't like that they didn't get that he kind of won in a way. And I felt like it was, whatever you call it, when you bend the rules of your world building to suit the plot when it doesn't, so that whole thing about you can bring anybody back, like, I don't know. I guess it was because he didn't have enough vampire blood, but
he drank some, like, as he was dying. Bones says it was just a drop, but still.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to make the transition good enough. I don't know.
They just should have killed him. I mean,
I know why she did it for the plot. Like, I get it, but still, that was really annoying.
So what did she want us to, what do you think that Janine Frost wanted us to feel about, that character as he's being beat down and stuff, and he's a
Big Mac, Chicken McNuggets, no, Big Mac and Quarter Pounder with cheese, or Filet-O-Fish. You'd be doing the same thing if you were at McDonald's, because you can choose not just one, but 2 of your favorites for just $6. Tasty Big Mac, crispy 10-piece Chicken McNuggets, juicy Quarter Pounder with cheese, or savory Filet-O-Fish. Enjoy 2 of your all-time favorites for just $6, if you can decide on the 2. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Fool that doesn't know anything. Well, he knows a little something after he's coaxed and coaxed and coaxed and coaxed, but not anything major. Yeah.
Well, she wanted you to feel what Kat was feeling, and that was the whole like, oh my God, Bones, why are you beating him? Stop it.
Yeah. No,
like he's too childlike, he's too innocent.
Yeah. At first she was fine with it, and then she was like, I don't know if he's faking. I don't, you know, no, stop. So I don't think, I don't know. I don't believe
you're supposed to feel that, but it still felt cheated that such a bad guy, such a villain, was able to get out, quote unquote, so easy.
Yeah.
I feel like it might have. I think the whole thing would have settled more with me if I don't know, like maybe after a couple of times he started being himself, or, you know, maybe if somehow I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. And with the ghosts and the ghouls, the world building has holes in it, right? So just like I said in the last one, when they were trying to nail down Heinrich, the ghost, the terrible, awful ghost, and like, why did you not just go to Marie Laveau, who has control of all the ghosts?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, there must be some reason why you can't. Well, we did it this time. We went to Marie Laveau so she could control Dawn, so they could get all the answers out of Dawn. You know, so I think if you read deeply in the world building, it doesn't hold up in that sense.
That is true.
So they could have turned him into a ghost, like Kat still. I don't know, did Kat have any juju?
Not when he died.
Okay. So
ghouls become ghosts. Is that a thing in this world?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
You can kill the ghouls by beheading.
But if Kat cried when he died, would he have stayed as a ghost?
Well, that's what I was wondering, but if she didn't have any of Marie's juju.
Not right then, but later after he came back
when he died as a ghoul. Well,
but you wouldn't want him to then, because he's useless.
Yeah, what would his brain be like?
Yeah, so it would probably be even less useful at that point. But I think the I think the world building has some holes in it in that space. So, but
I was really upset with the fact that they went to Marie Laveau like immediately in the beginning of this book. They're like, "Oh, well, we tried calling Dawn, and he disappeared. So let's just go to New Orleans."
Well, they did try Old Boy first, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's like Plan A. She's like Plan Z.
Yeah,
you know. And they just jumped from Plan A to Plan Z. They didn't try anything else. There was no real pressing issue or reason.
If I could put in a request to Janine Frost, I would want a book for Marie.
Oh, absolutely.
I would read her book.
1000%.
Yeah.
I think it would have a different tone too.
It might not be a romance, you know, or it could be, because
I'm okay if it's not. I just want her story.
Yeah.
I want her history. I want her future. I want her kicking ass. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much that could be done. I would love to get her point of view on like the bad guy that Kat was married to, whose name escapes me. Gregor. I would like to see. I would like to understand what was in her head when she set all that up, and she made Kat drink the blood for the first time. But I would also be okay if it just started where this book left off, and she's like furious at having been played, and then maybe she's, I don't know what it would be, but I guess I would like it to be a romance. It wouldn't have to be, but I would love to see her meet her match, I guess.
See, I think I like her because while it's great to have reliable friends that will come through and kill themselves on a daily basis for you. I like that she is her, like I've mentioned before, she looks out for number one, and that's herself and her people. And as long as your interests align, we're good. But if they don't align, I'm sorry. I like you, but
yeah.
I like that she will do what needs to be done in that way and not just fall on the sword every time whenever Kat needs it.
What was she's an alpha in her own right. So what was the line near the end? Something about a queen's work is never done or something like that?
Yeah, a queen's work is never done, and neither is a mother's.
She said, "Oh, you'll see, because you got a handful over there, girl. You got a handful over there."
Yeah. How do you guys feel about the? It's not quite a baby log, but it's a kid in the happy ever after.
Oh God. Oh,
not so much. Casey?
I don't love it for personally, but I accept it. I don't like that it's not clear if Tate's the daddy or not, but they're gonna just go ahead and give it to him. Like, okay, he said you're like 1 in 7 or 1 in 10 or something chance.
20.
1 in 20. Yeah, thank you. 1 in 20 chance that you're the daddy. And they can't, for some reason, test it. There was some reason they gave why it couldn't be tested. Which was
also bogus. It was, it was because now that he's a vampire, his DNA is totally different. So it's like, I'm sorry, but like Dawn doesn't have DNA from all those guys going before, back to
right.
Also, technically, Katie's DNA has also been completely altered because she is now part vampire and part ghoul and part human, and it's just all so convoluted that none of it can ever be tested ever.
Which is silly. If you could make that, I mean, so this is where the fiction part of science fiction happens, right? I mean,
it's whatever you want it to be, because whatever the author wants it to be.
The author doesn't want to deal with it, is what. But it would have been pretty easy to just say, "Yeah, Tate, we saw the records, and it's you."
Yeah.
Or why leave
not
it,
you, buddy? But you're welcome to hang around anyway.
If you want to go there, or just not go there at all, just like we don't know who the father is, but we know that you're the mother. And, if you're going to leave it ambiguous, make it ambiguous. If you want to make it be Tate, then make it be Tate. I don't understand why it was like, probably Tate, but we're not going to prove it, and we can't possibly prove it.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then you're just going to let him be around like a little possible dad. Like, so you're going to have like 2 dads,
Uncle.
like a dad and a stepdad hanging around, being assholes to each other all the time. I just...
What was that, Casey?
That, oh my God. My dislike of Tate is not unknown here.
The Tate hate. The Tate hate is strong.
Tate hate. Hashtag Tate hate.
Hashtag Tate hate. Oh, it's perfect. No, he doesn't change at all throughout all 7 books. He shows up in the first book. Like, he doesn't change. He has no character arc. And he still gets what he wants at the very end. I'm so mad.
He gets to be with Kat.
He gets to be the baby daddy.
I mean, I'm
using air quotes for anybody who can't see me. He gets to be the baby daddy.
Even though they're not going to be having that kind of relationship, he still gets to be around her all the time.
Forever.
Being an
Bones
asshole.
has to accept him as like part of their little family on the boat. Yes. Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
He did not change.
Man,
and he gets what he wants at the end.
3 weeks on that boat, and they're gonna be tossing each other overboard.
Good thing they don't need to breathe.
Yeah, because you think Tate's just gonna stop? You think he's just gonna be cool with being the dad and the friend? Wheel. I mean,
the dad and the stepdad. No,
there's a lot going on that boat right now. Katie is like so. Such
She's
a handful.
Kill first, ask questions later.
She's a killer, and that's how she was trained. That's all she knows.
And it's not just training; it's genetic
DNA
manipulation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's going to take a whole lot to undo some of that programming that was done to her, and it's going to be decades and decades of trying to retrain her brain to not attack first and ask questions second.
Did they talk at all during the series about child vampires? I can't remember if that came up at all.
I don't think so.
I don't remember it.
Like they're not born, right? They don't have every vampire is turned by somebody. They're not born.
Except for Kat and Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc. But they're not full they weren't really vampires until they were actually turned.
Mm-hmm.
Like So yeah,
I don't know. We don't know if she'll grow, how much she'll grow, or not, if she'll get old or not, like past a certain age. And that's that whole Twilight thing. Like, you don't know how old the kid's going to get.
I think she will, because she's already been growing, right? So
she has had some genetic modifications,
right.
so she looks older than she is.
Does she drink blood?
That was never said.
I don't think. I think she's. I don't know. My interpretation of it, which is not explicit on the page, is that she's like Kat in that sense. That she is. She's got the vampire potential, but she is not a vampire yet.
No, but that's why I was saying the like whole Twilight effect. I don't know if you read Breaking Dawn, but their daughter at the end, you know, she was born, okay, like Katie is born, even though she, you know, was test tube baby or whatever. But what happens is, you know, that author explained it away as, okay, you'll be aging until you hit about this age, and then your body slows down and you just kind of stay that way. For we don't know how long, but you're gonna live a really long time, because they had like this happened to this guy, and he's, I don't know, 150 years old, but he looks 25. Like, he grew normally until he got to a certain age, and then he just kind of stopped. So that's what I was kind of wondering in my mind, was that kind of implied? Because before, you know, Kat turned, she was aging slowly. She wasn't aging at a normal rate. So maybe it's going to be like that for Katie. Maybe not. I don't know. We don't know, because we weren't told. Yes, I don't know.
I would love to see a spin-off series with Katie as the heroine, like 1 or 2 decades down the road. I'd love to read that. Absolutely. And then, like, we could learn more about who she is, what she is, how she's growing, what she eats,
how she was raised, her 2 dads.
Yeah, how she was raised. But
I'm just
so I feel like it might have been left open-ended for that reason. And also there wasn't really a place where they could just sit down and figure it out. Although all the files were released to the internet and everybody knew what happened, you know?
Yeah. That didn't really get tied up either, did it? Or is it now vampires are out in the world? I forget.
Well, it was released to those cryptozoologist websites. So, like, people kind of know, but I don't know if there's any, if it took with humans or not. Again, the end got wrapped up so quickly.
I feel like it's like, oh boy, you know, if you're in that group that believes that there is something out there and you're actively looking for it, you're going to find it. And it's going to be proof. But most people don't even think they're real anyway, so they're not going to be going to these places to look for this information. It's not like it was on Channel 4.
So I just finished, I read a few of the books. I didn't read the whole series, but I just finished watching the 3 seasons of Bitten by Kelly Armstrong on Netflix. And I had forgotten that I don't know if it was at the beginning or the middle or the end of a sub-arc or what, but at the end of the 3 seasons, the way they resolved the tensions in the series was by outing the Supernaturals and doing the press conference. And I almost, for a minute, I thought that's what was happening here too, when Trove hit that button, and then it didn't happen.
No. Well, we know from other books that they are not out. They are not out.
Okay.
You know, later books.
Right, that I haven't read.
Ian's books that we haven't read.
Yeah, so whatever their intent was, I feel like it reached a certain tier of people and not the public at large.
Unlike Mercy Thompson in that series where they did out themselves.
Right, that was the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty early in the series, wasn't it?
Pretty early, yeah.
Midway, maybe.
I mean, everybody, well, the Faye were out, everybody was out, and they were Channel 4ing it. They were like, hey, y'all, we are here.
And then they had the werewolves in DC, and Adam had to go out and, like, talk to politicians. Like, they got outed.
Right. Yeah. Right.
No question.
Here, again, I feel like it could have gone there and she was trying to go there, but then she had to wrap up too quickly. And yeah, there needs to be some kind of spin-off that's later, either with Katie grown up or 10 years down the road with Cat and Bones dealing with a teenager. Because she'd be 17 in 10 years.
I don't want her to
How
be
fun
a
would that
teenager.
be?
Let's just skip it. Let's just skip it to when she's an adult. And then she can tell us her teen years through memories.
That would be the YA from hell.
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want that. I want her to be full-ass grown adults, learn from her lessons, and we can read about her horrible teens, like, you know.
Overbearing fathers.
Yeah.
Her mother who's like, yeah, let's kill everybody. Let's just do it.
Can you imagine tag team killing people? They're like, let's go out and just kill things. Let's kill people.
Oh, and my grandma.
Oh, yeah. And my grandmother, that's a damn vampire, too. Yes.
He's been trained by whatever government agency, not the CIA.
Black Ops.
Training with grandma.
Can you imagine her on a boat with Bones for more than a week before he like rips her head off and throws her overboard?
I mean, Bones, like, he's already had to like assert his power over her. Like when he first met her, he's like, this chick is nuts. Like she understands one thing, and that's power. And I'm gonna show her who's got more power.
I thought you meant Justina for a second.
No. But you know, it's funny how he Bones drew that like line to Kat. Like, well, hey, you had to learn the hard way. Your daughter gonna have to learn the hard way. So this the hard way.
Not only that, but Bones has had a lot of experience with new vampires, people who are new to their powers that don't know how to control them and don't know how to, don't have a moral ethic.
Yeah.
This isn't bad. I'm going to say.
The more you drink it, it grows on you.
Well, I think it's the tonic water. I think as it's like less fizzy or something, it tastes milder after it's been sitting in the glass for a little while. Maybe it's that the ice is melted. I don't know.
To me, it still tastes like I'm eating berries out like some wild backyard. I don't even know if they're poisonous or not. I'm just eating some berries that taste weird.
Like berries to me.
It does to me. It tastes funky, like I swallowed some perfume or something.
Maybe it's the difference in the gins.
The gin and the tonic water, because didn't you say your tonic water had some berries in it, or was that
no? It's diet.
Tonic?
Oh, mine is plain. I have some that's got like a citrus, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, no, mine doesn't taste like berries at all, but that's because mine's dry gin. It's not.
Mine says dry
berry.
too,
is that the difference? Mine says dry.
It's not.
Well, this is London dry gin, but it still tastes
that's
like.
What I have.
It smells funky, and it smells like berries.
It smells funky, but it doesn't taste like berries to me.
It tastes like weeds. That's it, weeds. Like what I think weeds would taste like.
Pine trees.
What I imagine weeds taste like. Because I have not eaten weeds. Let's be clear. I have not eaten weeds.
My
you
first
don't
house.
Just go out in the backyard and eat some grass.
My first house in Washington State had just all these enormous ancient juniper bushes. They didn't get berries on them, but they're like evergreen trees, but they're shrubs. And if you trim them, then they just have these dead-looking naked branches. They're ugly as hell. So. Or maybe the former owners didn't keep them trimmed the way they should have. I don't know. But that's my big association with juniper. The junipers that ate my backyard.
Yeah.
Irrelevant to the story, Tamara. You can cut this later.
But you know what else annoyed me in this book, you guys, was Don.
What?
I feel like Don was so aggravating to me.
Yeah.
Whole book.
Agreed.
We kind of touched on this last time, I think. Or maybe it was the 5th book after he died, and he just still kept refusing to tell the secrets. And he still was like, I can't. No, Kat, I can't. And he didn't even know that Katie existed, right? He didn't know?
I don't think he did.
No.
Yeah.
So why is he so resistant to telling Kat anything?
I think
he won't even tell her where the other bases are.
I don't think he knew where the bases were because they moved after he fired Madigan. But the big secret he was hiding is that the Brahms and everything else was all from cat's blood. She thought it was.
That's tiny. That's fucking tiny.
I know.
Excuse my F-bomb.
And the genetic manipulation what they were.
Casey, when do you care about F-bombs? Ever.
Since I've been drinking.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, Nicola. That
makes you less profane. That's weird.
Like, yeah, what?
I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, Don.
But yes, Don was very fucking annoying.
He was. Yeah, I didn't like that. So at the end there, Don's still around though, right? He's around.
Yeah, he can't leave. And that was I feel like there should be some kind of loophole to let the ghosts go. Like there should be some exorcism to let
now
them
that
cross
she has
over.
the power again, I feel like that would be a thing.
Yeah, I mean it's not a plot hole. It's set up that way that when they're stuck, they're stuck. But I wish that there was a way that there was to break that for Fabian too and for Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they might want to stick around because they're in a relationship. They may not want to go anywhere.
I'm just saying, or even
they chose to stay. Kat kept Dawn with her tears.
Right. No, they didn't choose.
That's different.
I mean, I don't think they choose to stay.
Whenever they became a ghost, they chose. Or whatever that magic is. Because not everybody who dies becomes a ghost.
Right. Right, but I don't think it's always voluntary. I don't know.
They didn't really. The author really didn't give us a lot of details and facts on that. How
his girlfriend stayed because she wanted to kill Kramer.
Yeah,
in the last book, so she definitely chose. But we don't know really why Fabian stayed and became a ghost.
Is it that whole unfinished business kind of thing? So maybe he had some unfinished business we just don't know about.
Don't make me research this, Casey. But I don't think that it's a choice for all of them. But I do feel like there should be.
We need to get Janine Frost and sit her down and be like, all right, what is the ghost lore?
She'd be like, dude, I wrote that 6 years ago. I don't know.
Whatever you want it to be. That's what she'll say.
That's how I imagine it. Or she'll say, I need a series Bible and I need to to make sure that whatever I say right now is consistent with all the things that I wrote.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But that's what happens, I think, sometimes. The longer the series goes, things sometimes, unless you're meticulous, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got
even then, like she messed up with Kat being able to fly before she was turned into a vampire. Like that wasn't supposed to happen, but she was able to write that off as Kat just being super special.
Oh God.
Do you think that was a mistake?
Yeah, because vampires aren't supposed to fly until they're much, much older. And Kat hadn't even been turned at that point. And she was able to jump onto the top of the building, but that's because Bones was being shot by Silver in that moment.
Yeah, I just don't know.
And later they're like, oh yeah, no, she's just so awesome. She can jump before she was even turned. I was like, this is technically a plot hole and inconsistent, but
yeah, but everything about Kat is different. So I don't know. To me, that didn't seem like a plot hole.
I don't know. It's kind of
it was just one of those things that I was like,
I feel like that's a crutch. Like Kat's so special. Anything I do with her can be explained by her specialness, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows, and she drinks vampire blood. Although she didn't at that time, but
no, she was still half human at the time and jumping up buildings. And
I hope I would like Cooper to get a book too, because he went through some.
Yes.
He went through
and
some.
Juan, I would love to get Juan's book.
Yeah,
I want to see the woman who puts him in his
time.
place. Yeah,
we talked about that last time. That Juan.
I don't want series with them though. I'll take one-offs.
Yeah.
One-offs definitely.
Yeah.
And if Tate changes, I would be willing to read a book about him.
It would have to be a book where he meets his match. I mean, he meets the love of his life, and then he'll have to realize
when she smacks him down.
Well, it'll be one of those things where he realized, well, maybe I didn't love Kat. I was just infatuated. That's what it's going to be, like a whole
And
come
stubborn.
to Jesus thing.
That.
Yeah.
And stubborn.
Like once he
And
said it was
stubborn.
her, then he couldn't back down from it.
And he needs somebody to come along and smack him upside the head.
Yeah.
That'll be like, oh,
But I
I've been an
totally,
idiot
I
for the
think I
last
said this
10
in
plus
the
years.
Yeah, I think I said this in the last book, but I totally see Juan with a house full of human cooperative. I forget what they call it in this book, but humans that are there to be drank from, and he'd just have his little harem, and they'd all be good with it.
I don't know if I want to read a harem book like that. I don't want to read Juan having sex with 5 different women and men or whatever the hell he's up to.
But I think that would totally be Juan. Like, I'm not saying this is the kind of book I want to read and let's have Juan do it. I'm thinking like this is the kind of life Juan would have, and then maybe he meets the one and he has to get rid of the harem. I don't know, but
oh, what a fiasco!
Or she's just as crazy as he is, and
Right?
they keep the harem together.
Right?
Oh,
They're like, let's do a throuple, or can we do 4? Can we do a 4?
Sister wives.
Oh Lord! Oh, I can't. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's okay not to have books on some of these characters. Like, I feel like if I didn't get a book for Juan, I don't think my feelings would be hurt because I feel like I already know what to expect from him. And I don't think everyone needs to be paired up. I guess that's me not being a classic romance reader. I don't need all of the pairings and everyone to have a soulmate kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that. I just want him happy.
I don't think we're going to get him. Don't get me wrong, but I like to imagine what it would be like if he had one. If he had a book, and what his future holds.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, listeners out there, what do you think? Do you think Juan should have a harem? Do you think he should have the one?
If you could pick one character to get a book, who would it be?
Who, me?
I would pick Cooper.
Would you?
I'd pick Cooper.
Now is the chance to use reliable energy to grow your money with the Dominion Energy Reliability Investment. Our new investment product offers competitive returns, no maintenance fees, and flexible online access to your money. Make the reliable investment in reliable energy. The Dominion Energy Reliability Investment. To find out more, go online to reliabilityinvestment.com. That's reliabilityinvestment.com.
Tate, Juan would be happy with this.
Actually, that would be fun to read a book about Cooper because he's different from the others.
Yeah, he was the last changed. He was tortured as a human, where they were all vampires.
Yeah.
Or even Dave the Ghoul. That would be interesting and different to read about.
Honestly, Dave doesn't interest me that much. For whatever reason, he doesn't seem like he has a ton of personality to me.
Yeah, he's kind of dull. I agree. To me, he's dull. He's a good guy, but he's dull.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. You could say the same for Cooper, I guess. Something about him makes me curious. I think it's mainly this book in the way his what would turn into his backstory in this.
Oh, he's got a bigger backstory because from what I read, I felt like Cooper's black. He's got a backstory.
Oh yeah.
One bigger than turning into a vampire.
Yeah.
So he's good. He would be fun to read, I think, because he's probably got a lot of baggage or some, deep stories.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
So that could be
Cooper.
fun.
I pick Cooper. Who do you, all audience people, pick?
Yes.
Let us
Followers.
know. Tell us, who do you want?
Maybe we could petition Janine.
She'd be like, leave me alone.
We can always ask.
We'll be like,
you have
here's
7
a gin
people.
and tonic. Please write this book.
You have 7 people who want it.
Like, look, I choked down a gin and tonic for this. Please. I feel like I'm drinking medicine over here, but I'm doing it for the greater good.
For the greater good.
Yeah. Let's see what else was going on in this book. I mean, this is another one of the things where we kind of see everyone gets a cameo. Everyone shows up at one point. then we have that, goodbye scene where everyone comes in for the goodbye.
What did you think of the goodbye with Marie?
It's fine.
I liked it, and like I said at the beginning, I have always liked her character. There's a lot of complexity to her character. So, in one way, I'm not sure I loved that she was kind of completely, I don't know if defeated is the right word, but if they totally kind of pinned her down,
boxed her in.
Yeah,
pinned her down.
yeah. They had her really boxed in, and I don't know if I liked that or not, because I kind of liked that she was an equal adversary,
I didn't mind it because I feel like, again, I just feel like she is one of those people that she can't really be trusted. Like, not like that. Like, she is not a part of the family, right? She is not in the family. So for them to do what needs to be done, I'm not going to hate on it. And she's not going to hate on it because she was like, oh, that's pretty damn smart. Okay. But
yeah, she respects it.
Yeah, but she's also smart enough to probably get out of it if she really wanted to. I don't know. I didn't mind it because she's, like I said, she's not on the team. She's like one of the people that you call in as a sub. But she's
or
not,
you go in and rip her arm off.
Yeah, right.
That was an interesting scene.
Yeah.
Like, what is she?
She's a ghoul. Yeah,
Okay.
she's the ghoul.
Okay.
But that was I preferred that meeting in this book to the first one. Because the first one, they're just like, oh yeah, we're just going to go straight to Marie and we're going to have her hold down Dawn. And Dawn's going to answer all our questions. But oh no, Dawn said all this personal stuff. And now she's going to, tell on us. We only have 60 days to solve our case. And I was like,
but see, that's another scene.
Have to go to her in the first place.
That's another scene that, like, I guess reinforces my stance on Marie.
Oh,
because she was like, fine, I'll help you. But guess what? Only because I want to hear what he has to say. Not because you want the help.
Absolutely. And she just sent her revenants on Dawn. And Kat's like, why are you doing this? Couldn't you have done something nicer? And he's like, no.
She's like,
no, bitch, this is my way.
Oh, who the fuck do you think you went to?
Right. This is my way. Shut up and sit down.
Like, hello, have you met me?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why, no, the way they went to her in the first place, I did not agree with at all for the plot or anything. Like, if there had been more oomph behind it, as the editorial term calls for, oomph, you need oomph.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to think too hard about Marie and her specific magic because it doesn't, I start having a lot of questions. No,
she doesn't fit in the box prettily, if that makes sense. But no, I love her. I would love to see a book about her. Absolutely.
I think she's my favorite non-main character, like my favorite. Yeah. I like her better than even the people on the team. I like her better.
Well, she's more of an equal. It's like the team are subordinate to Cat and Bones, right? And a lot of the early parts of the series are Cat and Bones sort of fighting for dominance between the two of them. And when they finally get to a state where they can really cooperate and neither one of them is the boss, that's cool. But like everybody else is definitely not the boss, right? So,
right.
What did you think of the scenes where the demon drained Bones of all his power? Like Bones had no power near the end there.
It was really interesting. And it made me realize that, Cat and Bones aren't at the top of the food chain the way they want to pretend they are in the last 6 books.
The demons are at the top of the food chain, and it shows from their power.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It also made me realize that, like, Bones swoops in and saves the day a lot in this series. Like, he did it in the facility. He did it. I mean, Kat does her share of rescuing, but it seems like Bones is always like the nuclear option, right? He comes in and he doesn't have any qualms about collateral damage. He's not worried about not too worried, as long as he can keep it secret. About taking out innocents in order to protect the people he cares about, or his family line, right?
Yeah.
So he's more ruthless than Kat.
Absolutely.
Kat's learning to be ruthless. Like, the longer she's with Bones, the more she's transforming. I think that's just how it happens when you're with someone for a long time. Because, like, little side note, I feel like I'm a little more cutthroat since I've been with Kevin. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, he be shady, he throwing out the shade, and I'll be cutting people up too. And I'm like, dang, I didn't used to be like that. That's because of you. That's your fault.
This is me watching 10 seasons of Supernatural in like 2 months, and I'm like, yeah, kill everybody. Kill fucking everybody.
Yeah, I'm not sure that like real world experience translates exactly the same way, but I feel like it's more of a military mindset where you have to start, you have to become a little bit dispassionate about the cost of an operation, right? And
I agreed with Bones, like, to make me the heartless bitch. I agreed with him before they found out that Katie was Kat's daughter. You know, he was like, yeah, I'll kill this bitch. I'll kill her dead just to make sure you're safe.
Yep. But she's just an innocent child.
And yeah, Kat was like, no, you can't kill her.
And Bones
She's
like,
just a
I don't give a
kid."
shit. I will do what I need to do to make sure you're safe. Period.
Like, I'm 300 years old. You are all children.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't completely buy, you know, the whole like maternal wave that came over Kat when she like found out that it's genetic material. Although, of course, if you're paying attention, you knew immediately because the child had reddish hair, right? Boom. You know.
And
but
even
Kat didn't know. She didn't like, I think, really accept it. And she's like, oh, she has my eyes. Oh, you know, she made some comment about the little girl's eyes.
Yeah, the eyes were glowing. Were they glowing red or green? I forget.
Right, but when they stopped glowing, she saw they were the same gray as hers.
But that was when she was in person. When she was watching the video, she's like, oh, yeah, no, she's just a kid. But going back to the very beginning, the prologue of this book told from Katie's point of view, and the new threat comes in and he says, what the fuck have you done? I immediately went, oh, shit. Like,
oh, yeah.
This is it. And so I look for stuff like that. And I was immediately like, oh, shit, what did you do? Is this like a child of Kat? Is that Tate talking? Because it sounds like Tate, because I hate him and I know the sound of his voice. I hate him so much. I know the sound of his voice.
Yeah. Please, it almost sounds like the beginning of a story.
No,
enemies to lovers.
No.
Casey and Tate.
Oh my
gosh. You for putting that on me. No.
We need some fan fiction
I know
with
the sound
Casey
of that
and Tate.
voice.
Somebody write a fanfic story.
The editor and the vampire.
I know the sound of your voice through what the fuck.
Nobody says what the fuck like he does.
Oh my gosh, what a pair.
God.
Yeah, this is empty.
Yeah, my glass is empty too. Damn it.
Surprisingly, mine's is still really full.
Yeah, but you had a big giant one to begin with.
I did have a big giant one. I should have made a teeny one, but
mine is a little baby one.
Bug. No.
I don't know. That's what they all say in the beginning.
Lord.
I spent the last 6 books saying I've hated Tate.
I know.
that hate to love story.
That's right. That's right.
That's the trope.
Enemies
Yep.
to lovers.
That's the fucking trope.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I'm just torturing Casey now. It's so much
Yeah,
fun.
if you guys aren't physically watching us right now, I am laughing and crying at the same time and just covering my face in sheer.
So if any of you out there write fanfic, bring it. We want to. We'll read it.
Do it. We'll torture her with it. We'll torture Casey with it.
I would totally read that shit for a podcast.
Oh,
Let's read this fan fiction.
That's right.
It's story time.
I'll drink this entire bottle of gin and read it. If you write a fan fiction.
Don't do that. We don't want any alcohol poisoning on the show.
Not the entire bottle.
Look, you'll have to sign a waiver before you do that, okay? I am not responsible.
Okay, half the bottle.
Okay.
Half the bottle.
Well, if it's only half, okay.
Okay. We're good. God. Okay, moving on.
I'm not wrong.
No.
Moving on.
You're not wrong.
And that's why this is the worst. Because they're totally right.
I know. The editor and
this is how the enemies to lovers start.
I know.
I've hated him from the beginning.
The wheels are turning in your editor brain, and you're like, this could totally work.
Wait, Casey, you gonna write your own fanfic? Are you gonna do it? You gonna do it?
No, fuck. Okay.
So, speaking of that whole lovers thing, I guess a lot of people really love how good Cat and Bones are together with the chemistry and stuff. There really wasn't a whole lot of sexy time in this book. Did you guys miss it?
Yes, I did. It was very bland and blah, and there's nothing special. And she's like, oh no, Ian could hear. And Bones is all like, yeah, don't skimp on the compliments.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't miss it. I feel like they're familiar enough with each other now, and we're familiar enough with them.
Like an old married couple. No one needs all that crazy shit after.
That was the phrase in my head. Actually, I was thinking that exact term. I was like, well, they're still attracted, and there was still lots of explicit narrative from Kat saying how much she was attracted to him and how hot he was and everything. And there was a number of times when they made love, but we didn't get like the explicit play-by-play that we have in past.
No chapter 32 spice.
No, none of that.
Yeah,
it was all very much like, and then it was good. And the next morning, so not quite fade to black, but pretty close.
Yeah. I'm okay with
Wasn't
it too.
The last book that they had sex while flying?
Yeah,
I feel like she dropped herself. Like she did that, and then she couldn't figure out something else.
Yeah, because we were talking smack about her jeans and stuff. Like, how does that work?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, then we got more about flying in this book, and who was it that wet himself while she was carrying him? One of the
human that they wanted to interview,
right? The guy they snatched out of the facility in Virginia or someplace.
Yeah,
the first place that they found. That was a funny scene when Ian got Barbara.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was a fiasco. I mean, he went all out trying to get her, and I mean, he did it though.
It was fun, and they were reading her thoughts at the same time. That was a pretty funny scene.
It was a game to him. He was like,
totally.
Let me just figure out exactly what to do to pull her in like a big old fish. Like, let me just go fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is on me. I got this.
I rip my shirt open and come out.
That perpetrator must have must me.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
How I must look.
I mean, with him with his clothes all off, hanging off in the street,
and
my God.
His hair all messed up. Yeah.
And the jeans pulled down.
I mean, though, I can kind of imagine, because have you ever just seen someone out that you just think is, whoa, that guy's hot? Like you just kind of stop oh shit, that guy's hot.
Oh yes.
So that's what she was dealing with. Yeah, that's what
Maybe.
she
I feel like that's a story for another day.
Yeah,
No,
that's an
there's no
after
story.
show story. We might have to tell those in the after show.
Have
Mhm.
another shot of gin. Tell us.
I do need to try that other tonic water.
Okay, y'all. We might go there in the after show. We might
going
do it. Anyway. Well, let's see. What else was happening in this book? I mean, I feel like the story, even though I was surprised that the whole Madigan thing got wrapped up so quickly, because it felt like that was 50% of the book or something. I just don't remember that part getting wrapped up so quickly. And then it was like a whole nother story on the back end. So it almost like, to me, felt like two different stories in one, almost.
Almost, but that's kind of typical Cat and Bones. Like, they have 3 or 4 plot lines going at once. And
yeah,
like,
but it had such a hard cut, like a hard.
This one did. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it definitely did. And that didn't cohesively fit together. And there are the weird things. Yeah, I just want my red pen. And I'll go to Janine with a very nice editorial letter. Just be like, let me help you.
Yeah, the thing about Trove, the demon, popped up with, just kind of out of the blue with Mankiri's teenage hacker dude that managed to piece together some files. So I found that kind of believable. I don't know if I just
definitely.
I didn't read it too deeply, and they didn't go into detail about how he did it, which I think is good. So I
well, the teenage hacker felt more realistic than almost anything else in this book because, absolutely, the teenagers are hacking and the vampires are pretending that cell phones don't even exist. Yeah.
And I don't know, Mankira's dropped into that modern slang again, like so deadpan. I always think it's funny when that happens.
It's hilarious. But yeah, no, there were some weird things with the plot where it didn't quite fit cohesively, where I didn't quite, mesh the way all of her other plots do, even if she has 4 plots at once.
And Trove didn't show up in Denise's book, correct? He's just a totally brand new demon.
Brand new.
But again, though, like, dude, looking at Ian's books, I'm like, oh, I see so much now in this book, like about Trove and stuff and learning. It's like I didn't really pay a bunch of attention first time around, but now I encourage you to read Ian's books.
Yeah, part of me wants to go back and read all the side books in the world, but part of me is a little bit burned out on the series, so I might wait.
Give it a couple months.
I might wait a little
Denise
while.
and Spade, they're really cute together, and Kira's and Kira's, they're really cute together. Like, their books are worth it. But if you're burned out, don't read it because it's very typical Janine Frost. And I mean that in the best way.
Yeah.
Like, if you love her books, you're going to love those series.
Yeah, totally.
So,
definitely take a break, though.
Yeah. Take a break and then go read them in a couple months.
But I do feel like Ian's books are have a little different feel to them to me, just a little bit. They're still Janine Frost, but I think that, the woman that's playing off of him is very, very different from Kat and Kira and everybody. I mean, she's very, very different.
Veritas?
Yeah, Veritas. She's very different. And I think that brings a different, refreshing kind of vibe. It rejuvenates it for me a little bit.
You should read all 4 of Vlad's books because the end of the 4th book kind of sets up Ian's books.
Okay.
So again, you really need to be in that frame of mind to want to read these books and then read all 4 of Vlad's books.
I think every single one of my Kindle books had the first chapter of Vlad's second book. And I've read those first couple of paragraphs or skimmed them. I've glanced at them 7 times now. Okay.
We see Vlad's wedding in this book.
Yeah, we do.
Which was awesome.
You know, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I like Vlad, I do, but I liked Ian's couple of books that are out better than Vlad's books.
I haven't read Ian yet.
I got tired.
Saying I will.
I got tired of Vlad. Like, I think I told you I had to go back and read that last book because I skipped. I said, I'll get to it. And it does tie in, but you don't need it.
I got Night Prince as an arc in 2014. And I read that before I read any of the Cat and Bones books. So that was a little weird. It was okay. But it didn't like make me go, ooh, I gotta read more, you know. So
I adore Vlad. I guess I'm the odd man out here, but I adore him.
I like him better after reading him in Cat and Bones than I did just by opening up his own book. So I think that the development he goes through as Cat's friend, or at least
it does help,
or at least the development of I'm not sure his character develops, but our understanding of him develops as readers, if that makes sense.
I mean, because the way he treats, like, not to be all spoilery, but like how he interacts with Layla is really so old-fashioned. It's really so gross. It's really so tiring.
He does change.
He does.
Yes. I mean, yes, it's annoying and fucking awful at the beginning.
But I think
he deserves a stake in the ass.
Yeah, but to Nicola's point, this series helped you settle in and like him better versus starting there.
Yeah.
Because you get to see more of his personality here, and just starting there, he's like meh without you know.
Absolutely.
So let us know what you guys think about that. How do you feel about like jumping into his story?
Adorbs, you know, heart Vlad.
Vlad lovers.
Vlad lover.
You know, it's funny. I really
hate and Vlad love.
Like, Ian is such a gross person, but I really feel like he's more my pace. I feel like I can I can deal with it.
Well, I guess it's because he's blunt and very honest with who he is. Is that it? Or
maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I could deal with him better than Vlad. I feel like I know how to handle a person like Ian versus a person like Vlad.
The comments about Ian, and I think it was Gregor, being collectors is skeevy to me. That's gross. So I would want to, you know, in order to like Ian, and maybe this comes out in his books, I would need to have that explained in a way that doesn't gross me out.
But that's what's funny. I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but that collector thing, it doesn't fucking come up again.
Well, then that's a problem.
I'm like, collecting what? I mean, other than like sex partners.
It says been his entire personality from book 2 when Kat met him, and he's like, he's
not that person at all. That person, when she met him, that is not Ian. That is not who I see in these Ian books. But that's just me.
He has changed over the last 5 books. Yeah. But it was brought up and up from the grave that he's the collector.
Yeah, but that never
Katie because he was a collector of fine things.
Feeling of chasing, you know, the
Right now, switch your family to T-Mobile and get 4 lines for $25 a line with AutoPay and 5G access included on America's largest 5G network. So don't wait. Get unlimited and nationwide 5G access for the whole family for just $25 a line. Visit a T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com today.
Plus taxes and fees. Customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using over 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video at 480p. Unlimited while on our network. Qualifying credit and 4 plus lines required. Capable device required for 5G. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain features. See T-Mobile.com.
Chase and to get something that he wants, that whole thing that we were served up.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out again.
You know, if he likes the chase, that's different from being a collector to me, but maybe I'm splitting hairs.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but yeah.
So to me, a collector is somebody that like has things and keeps them as possessions, you know?
Oh, he don't have that. I mean, what was he collecting then? What exactly? Because I need to know.
He was collecting lots of quote unquote special things. And again, that's why Kat found him in book 2. That's why he went after Katie in this book.
And it's
I don't know.
I wish she had used a different characterization there because I don't know. Anyway, probably not a big deal.
I mean, it was mentioned in 2 books.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Right.
It's a.
I can let it go if I have to, is what I'm
when
saying.
you read it, let me know and see if you see any of these collector tendencies, because I didn't see it at all.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was verbally stated in 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't know. Maybe he just outright changed his mind after he figured out he liked Veritas. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe his goals changed. I don't know.
Maybe. Let's hope so. I do want to read his books, so I will let you know how I feel about him.
Yeah, please do. So with this being the end, did you get any of those feels that you did the first time around at the end of the book? Were you feeling like, oh, this is the end? Now, me personally, I'll just answer first. No, that's because I know we'll see them again. But the first time around, I didn't know when and if we'd see them again. So I think, for me, no. But did you guys get the feels at the end?
The first time, yes, a little bit, but this time, no. I'm with you right there because I know we'll see them again fairly recently, like in Ian's books. And if she does other spinoffs, they'll be back. Like, this isn't the end. They're not riding off into the sunset and we'll never see them ever again.
Like this book implies.
Yeah.
Those are cameos, right? They're not.
They're cameos, but they're still around. So you still know.
Well,
they're happy.
In Ian's book, it's a little more than a cameo.
Okay.
A little more.
All right. If I could just go read this book that you keep hinting about, I would. But apparently, I have to read 4 Vlad books and 2 Ian books and the Spade books. So
just take your time. Take your time.
Books.
Oh, right.
That's 6 books before Ian's books.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Just skip to the good part.
I'm gonna. Why? You guys just told me I shouldn't.
Well, I don't know.
I'm a traditionalist. I love reading everything in order.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, reading in order is nice. But I think because you've read so much of this world, if you didn't read in order, you wouldn't be confused. You would just, you would know where things plug in, right? You'd be like, oh yeah, I remember this, and you would just know where it plugged in. But
because Vlad's wedding happens in book 3 or book 4 of his series.
Yeah.
So you've already skipped the first 2 at least.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably jump into Ian's books and be fine right now. And again, like Denise and Spade and Minkira's and Kira, you know what happens to them. You know they're together, they're happy, and that Denise is a demon.
Yeah.
Like, you know that. So you could read Ian's and be fine. But I'm the traditionalist here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so read in order, like Casey says, because I'd be like, what else? Because you see, I skipped Vlad's book 4. I was like, I'll come back to it.
That's the important one.
I did come back to it though.
That's where shit goes down.
And I did come back to it, and I was like, okay, but I was kind of, I was over it after that 3rd Vlad book.
Maybe pace them out. Read one of Vlad's books, and then read like a contemporary book or something totally different.
I think we'll go through at least the next couple of books. So. Is this a good segue?
Well, no, wait, Nicola, did you say you got the feels at the end of this book or not?
Yeah.
So the first book, they were apart at the end of the first book, right? She had left
the first
him.
Cat and Bones.
Yeah, she had left him. That was heartbreaking. That was not like this.
Mm-hmm.
So. And I read the series the first time, it was after they'd all been published. So I knew it was a series. I didn't have any notion that they wouldn't come back together. Right. So I don't think they're comparable to me. I liked the end. I felt like it was a little bit, I don't know if I love the Katie twist, to be honest, but I do like that they're just kind of trying to get out of the protecting the universe business and focus on each other.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I guess the Katie thing.
Tate. They couldn't done it without Tate.
Well, I guess the Katie thing is what makes it different from all the other books, right? Because every book ends with, oh, and now we can relax. And every book starts with, well, they thought they could relax, but now they can't. So having Katie makes it maybe a little bit more believable that they'll stick to that. But
I feel like I could go on a rampage about these heroines needing to have a damn baby or child.
Please do that.
Because
oh my God, we need to make that one of our chats.
Yeah,
we need to make that one of our chats.
Noise. Okay, not everybody needs a damn baby to have a happily ever after or a child to skip off and high five, virtual high five.
High five.
So
yes,
I don't think Kat needed that. She didn't need it. She didn't really even talk about wanting it.
She was definitely feeling it before she found out about Katie.
Yeah.
She was definitely feeling the need to retire and step away. And then Madigan came in. She's like, oh, well, I'll just kill this one last bad guy. But no, now she has a baby.
Yeah, but she wasn't saying, oh, I wish I had a baby before I turned into a vampire. I always missed that.
She did, though. That came up in the books before she was turned. And that was one of the reasons she was hesitant about being turned into a vampire. That did come up.
I don't remember it. And it clear I don't remember it at all.
At all. I have to go find it.
I may block that out. Yeah, no, find that and teach us.
Because there is happily ever after with just a couple. It's okay. And just not to get all on a tangent, but like these people, and yes, these people are all outraged because they want Mercy to have a baby. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Why does she have to have a baby? Okay, but I'm sorry, I'm off topic, but that just enrages me. Like that whole baby scenario enrages me.
Yes.
I think it's effective in that it signals a new life stage, right? So I think that's why it's so common. That's one of the reasons. There's other obvious reasons that used to be synonymous with a woman's happily ever after is the finding the husband, having the family, staying in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. But
I don't like that either. Sorry.
No, but I do think that having a child changes your priorities. It changes how your lifestyle. So I think that putting that at the end of the series is a effective shorthand for saying, and now from now on things are going to be a lot different.
But they actually aren't. Okay, they actually aren't, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So. I'm not talking specifically about Cat and Bones. I'm talking about the
in general,
the trope or the commonality of it.
No, we need to have like a full-on discussion about this. One of our
the baby
chats.
Trope. Okay, yeah,
baby trope.
Yeah, okay, y'all, stay tuned. Okay, so
let's hear your thoughts. I want to hear what the listeners are thinking about the baby loves.
Please let us know.
Did you love Katie at the addition of Katie and them running off into the sunset with their new child, or what? Did you or not? Yay or nay?
Yay or nay?
They changed the name of the boat to the retirement or something like that. They changed
Not quite the retirement, but
they changed it from Reaper to something like that.
Reaper to Old and Busted.
Sorry. I've had a full glass of gin
Blame
here.
it on the alcohol. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Oh God.
Okay.
Y'all take a drink, take a shot so you can catch up. Do a drink. Come on, catch up.
So we should before we
my glass is empty.
Yeah. We should figure out the drinking game. We should figure out every time Casey says Tate, everybody listening to take a drink.
You know what? Yeah.
We'll put that in our Facebook listen along. Every time Casey says Tate.
Okay, bet. We'll prepare everybody. So everyone should have your drinks right now because I prepared you ahead of time. Let's do it. Okay.
Oh God.
All right. So should we is there anything else or should we rate this thing before we move on to our next little topic?
I think that's it.
I think we covered everything pretty comprehensively.
Yeah. Okay, let's rate the book. Let's rate the finale. Nicola, you first.
I think you make me go first all the time.
Because you're the positive one, okay? You're the positive one.
Yeah, I think that, inside the series, compared to other books in the series, this is closer to a 3 for me. I think that compared to, I don't know, I told you I was a little bit bored by it. I think that compared to other series, compared to other paranormals, it's probably more like a 4. But it's not my favorite in the series. It's a little bit repetitive at this point to me. It's a little bit drug out, and I'm not sure I really loved Katie as the way to close everything off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Casey, how about you?
It's 4 stars for me, which is on the lower end for this series, because I usually rate them 5 stars because it's Janine Frost and I love her. But like Nicola, this book in particular was a little dragged out. I'm not very happy with Katie. It was a little repetitive. Fuck Tate, all that. Oh, yes, everybody take a shot. All of that. It's just, it was good. It was a good ending for the series. It wasn't the best or the strongest in the series, but it definitely left it open-ended for spinoffs. And I'm hoping that there will be those spinoffs and it will be interesting. Like if Cooper got a book, if Katie got a book, if Marie got a book. Mm-hmm. I'd love Marie's book. Like it was really good. It was really strong. I will never not read Janine Frost. Mm-hmm. But this one in particular just left me kind of
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree with both of you. First time around, I rated this 5. This time around, I'm kind of like between a 3 and a 4, but I'm always going to round up. So I'll round up to the 4. It was a fast read, as it always is. So it gets, points for that. And a lot of the things that are, I guess, standard with Janine Frost appear here. So she gets points for that. You know what you're getting. But I agree. I think some of it was a little repetitive. I didn't really love the Katie ending. I think there could have been something more, I guess, just to kind of bid a temporary farewell to these characters than this. Mm-hmm. But it was fine. It was fine. It was as expected.
I feel like what's missing is a series arc. Like all of these stories were very unconnected from each other, and
well, Madigan was kind of connected for the last
right, but then he became a subplot. So the series arc was really Cat and Bones learned to get along with each other, and I feel like that got resolved at least a book or 2 ago, and maybe that's why I didn't feel like this one was really adding anything to the series.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Agreed. But for those that just love Cat and Bones, you just love this series, you gotta read it. You got to.
Yeah, you have to read it. And it's great the first time around. But you start thinking about it and getting annoyed with the repetitive fake out deaths. Yeah, don't overthink it.
We overthought it from a 5 to a 3.5.
So. Yeah. But that happens sometimes. I mean, like some people I have heard say that they've reread this series 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus times. And I'm like, how? How? Freaking how?
They love it, which is fantastic. Like, I get that. Bones is one of the best heroes I've ever read. Like, continuous
I don't get
heroes.
It. After this second reread, I don't get it. I love Cat and Bones, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's better in my memory than revisiting them over and over again. I will not reread this again. Although I think of them fondly. I will not come back again.
Yes. And I rarely reread, to be honest. So maybe I'm understanding that that's probably a good thing for me. But I rarely reread books. So and this was a super fun series. They're great characters. They're very fast paced, but they're not super complex. There's not a lot of layers to these stories. And so I think when
they are who they say they are.
Right. When you read it the second time, I don't think you're finding new things that you didn't see before,
Right.
So
Exactly. I would agree.
But if you're a reader who rereads and you do see that, let us know.
Yeah, I'd like to. If you disagree, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, let us know what you.
I'd love to tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah, let us.
Tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, I'd love to know what you discovered on a second or third reread that you didn't on the first. Like, what nuances did you pick up, if any?
And if you're reading this 10 times in a row, what makes you pick it up for 10 times?
Yeah, and are you really reading it, or are you just skimming it to get to the good parts? Come on,
42.
admit it.
32, chapter 32.
Right. You got it. All right, so we are done with that. We're done with that.
Yay!
We're going to pack that away in our nice little box and put it on our shelf over here. And we are going to unpack our next series. Woohoo! I am super excited about this one, guys. And we just talked shit about rereading books, but this is going to be a reread for me, and I am living for it. I'm living for it.
But not me.
Drum roll, please. We are reading The Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Laini Taylor. Yes, we are going to read all 3 books plus book 2.5, which is a little novella. So we're going to read 4 books.
It's so cute.
It is adorable. And I got to say, my favorite character, I feel like, is Susanna. I love her. She is the best. And I'm excited to dive back into this world. Yes.
I'm excited.
And if
I read the sample and it seemed good.
Yeah.
So
and if
cute.
you don't know, this is full on fantasy. This is what some would even consider high fantasy, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. It's young adult, but it's almost full on fantasy. There are hints of Earth, but there's a brand new world that you're going to.
Angels, demons, good, bad, different names like Karoo, and I'm like, oh my God, I love it so much. You go to great places like Marrakesh and like all these. You go to Russia. It's so awesome. It's so awesome in all the ways, and I feel like it's going to hold up for us. I think we're going to love it again.
I hope so. I loved it the first time. It was all 5 stars the first time.
Yes, me too. And I looked, I'm like, 5 all the way down. I loved it. And this is one that you guys should start on time, I think. If you're a slow reader, start on time. Book 1 is like 418 pages.
They're kind of long.
Yeah.
So I read the first, maybe 2 chapters in the sample, and I'm intrigued by the magic, the world building, the characters. There's a little bit of the sort of typical teenage romance thing at the beginning, and I enjoy how she's sort of dealing with his ego. So
there's a little teen YA angst, but it's not as bad as some of the other YA series. Like it's not even close. It's not like the whole series that we did.
It's full
on
the
YA held out of the group. I'm not a big fan of YA or NA.
But this is why I think you'll like it, because this is not the typical YA. They're not in high school, okay? They're not doing high school shit. No,
they're like technically in high school, but they leave high school very quickly.
Okay. Right.
I'm just saying, it says 3 times in chapter 1 they're in high school.
Yes, but they won't.
That drama.
Fuck what that says. I'm telling you, you're going to love it, because it's not a high school drama. It's not. I promise you.
Okay.
Yeah. So get excited, you guys. If you guys have read this before, let us know if you'll be reading along or rereading along. And if this is new, then I encourage you to join us, because you will love it. Love it.
What does Karoo drink? Not gin.
Karoo doesn't drink anything but water. No.
Dang.
They are teenagers.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Did they drink vodka when they were in Russia? Did they drink vodka there? Maybe.
Maybe we'll drink vodka in honor of a Russian landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we can find some other drinks as we go to these different places around the world with these books. That could be fun.
Yes. Starts out in Prague.
Yeah, it does start there, but they definitely go a couple other places.
Yes. They do not stay in Prague. They do not stay in Europe.
Hell, they don't stay on Earth. Wink, wink. Okay, it's great. Okay, I love it. I'm so excited. So yeah, that is our next book. Join the Facebook group because we'll have some announcements for you there. You don't want to miss. We'll be talking about some fun stuff over there. And yeah, I guess that's it. Do we have anything else for the show, guys?
I don't think so.
Don't think
Other
so.
than I love Cat and Bones and I love the series and I'm sad it's over, but also yay, new series.
Yes.
Yay, new series. I'm ready to move on. I love them, but I'm ready to dive into something new.
Agreed.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you're not too tipsy. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive, guys.
Go sit on the couch and watch some Netflix or something.
Especially if you were playing the Casey Hates Tate game.
Yeah.
Taking shots.
Yes.
All right.
So again, thanks for joining us as always, and we will catch you guys next month. Until then, happy reading. Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's book chat episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcast and leave a positive 5-star review. You can follow me on Twitter at Shelf Addiction. Most importantly, you can share this podcast with friends and family that enjoy all things bookish, including author interviews. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.
Big Mac, Chicken McNuggets, no, Big Mac and Quarter Pounder with cheese, or Filet-O-Fish. You'd be doing the same thing if you were at McDonald's because you can choose not just one, but 2 of your favorites for just $6. Tasty Big Mac, crispy 10-piece Chicken McNuggets, juicy Quarter Pounder with cheese, or savory Filet-O-Fish. Enjoy 2 of your all-time favorites for just $6, if you can decide on the 2. Prices and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal, single item at regular price.
Right now, switch your family to T-Mobile and get 4 lines for $25 a line with AutoPay and 5G access included on America's largest 5G network. So don't wait. Get unlimited and nationwide 5G access for the whole family for just $25 a line. Visit a T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com today.
Plus taxes and fees. Customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using over 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video at 480p. Unlimited while on our network. Qualifying credit and 4+ lines required. Capable device required for 5G. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain features. See T-Mobile.com.